What is up, YouTube? Dash colors. Do you like it? Do you hate it? Do you want to change it? In my case, I hated the dash color from the factory. It was that fake chrome color stuff. If you've seen these 2014 GMC Sierras, I believe the same process for tearing apart the dash from 14 up to 16. Chevy's the same way, because Chevy and GMC, they're pretty much identical. 14 GMC. Let's get into it. And let's see how I did this. If you clicked on this video, you want to know how to take these components off and paint or change the color of them. These used to be that fake chrome color. I did not like it, so I had fun changing it. So this section right here can pop off. You can get a plastic tool to do it, but in this case, I just took my pocket knife and wrapped electric tape around it. I like to start down here at the bottom, and you just shove it up in between it, and it just pops right out. That's the first part. Yes, if you have any wires, those don't go to anything. So for this piece, you have to undo these bolts and these bolts. This whole section will come off. There's a bunch of screws behind it that you have to take off in order to take this component off to get to this component to take off, if you want to take this off to paint it. Or you can just tape it out and paint it with it on. Be very careful if you take this whole console out and tear this whole thing apart to get to this, because there is very small wires that connect this screen to these buttons. If that screen moves or drops or anything, you will rip those wires out, and you'll have to get a whole new console, unless you're very good at soldering. So be very cautious about that. So for this component, you have to take this side piece off first. It's right where your fuse box and all that is. It just pops out. There's no bolts or anything holding it on. So after that one, now this whole component pops out. There's no bolts or anything holding it together. Make sure you're not flexing it too much. Pop these wires out. And you got this. So in this component, you just pinch these little tabs and all of this comes off. And you undo these two screws, this piece comes off so you don't have this. So that's how it goes back on, takes off. Same thing for the passenger side. Now you just, after you're done, clip all your wires back together. It's very hard to confuse which wire goes where because they're different sizes and colors. So after that, you just pop it back on. Take your panel, put it back over. Now for this side panel, it's the same thing as driver's side. Stick your tool in there. And this whole piece pops out. Be cautious, you do have a fuse box on this side too. And this one pops out like that. Undo this screw, and this piece comes out, and you can just paint this piece all as one. After you're done, just pop back in, and you put your side piece back in. So you're wanting to know how to take this and paint this. It is very difficult. Make sure, before you start, make sure you disconnect the battery and wait the proper amount of time for everything to power down and degenerize. On the back side, you have these controls. They just pop out. There's nothing holding them in. There's a screw back here that you can undo. If you undo that screw, this piece comes out. It is very hard. It's very tight, but it's possible. Now, some videos you show the people taking the airbag out. That is very dangerous. If you are not certified or if you have no experience on taking airbags out, do not do it. It is very dangerous. You can set off the airbag. After you set off the airbag, that's a lot of money to get fixed if your insurance company doesn't total the vehicle. So there's nothing holding these bottom sections down. It's just a little rod that goes in and presses in. There's not much. Up here, it's just that one screw. And if you can pry this section up and this up just a little bit to get to, just to pull this piece out. It is possible, but very hard. Be very cautious and very careful that you don't puncture your airbag or set it off. So that is how I pulled these pieces out to paint. And now it looks way better. Also paint matched what the color of the truck is.